Hey BookTube friends, today I'm going to be doing the reader problems tag, and I was tagged by the awesome Jacob Tanner at the channel of the same name. And if you aren't subscribed to him, go check out his channel. He reads wonderful books and he's hilarious and he's a good friend of mine, so please go check out his channel. Number one is, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? I usually go off of what mood I'm in. I try to read a variety of books every month, so if I just read a YA, maybe I'll read a literary fiction next or a graphic novel. I try to do a lot of variety so that I don't get bored of the same kind of story over and over again. And even when I read a series, I try to space them out so I don't get too sick of being in that certain world. So I think I would just go off of what I'm in the mood for. Or I also like to do buddy reads because it encourages me to pick something up that maybe I've been putting off for a while, and I love discussing books with people, so I love doing buddy reads. Number two, you're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? I'm quite back and forth on DNFing books. It has to be pretty bad for me not to finish it, because I have read books before that the end just really wraps it all up and makes it a lot better for me. So there are many times where even if I'm not liking it, I will stick with it and then I'm actually impressed at the end. But there have been cases where I have not finished a book, and if I'm just not enjoying it and it's taking me forever, I will DNF it. So number three is, the end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? It depends on how far away I was from the challenge. If I was just 2 or 3 books away, maybe I would go ahead and pick up a couple poetry collections or a novella or some graphic novels to try to complete my goal. But if I was like, 12 or 15 books behind, I would probably just let it be and not worry about it too much. I'm not too goal driven as a person. I like to set goals, but if I don't reach them, I'm not too hard on myself. I just applaud myself for trying and for participating. So I think it depends on the situation. Number four is, the covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? I'd like to say I wouldn't care, but that's not the case. I really like my series to be all matching, and it even bothers me that some of my Harry Potter books are paperback and some are hardback. I like them to be the same kind. So I honestly don't think I would buy a book if it didn't match the ones in the series that I had. I would wait until I could find it in the right edition that I wanted. And that's what I'm really trying to do this year, especially, is just to buy the editions that I really, really want, so that when I look on my shelves, I love everything that's on there and I'm very happy with it. Number five, everyone and their mother loves a book that you don't really like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? Probably just someone on BookTube, whether it's someone who has another channel or a subscriber or just a random person who leaves a comment. There's always someone, I feel like, that can relate to how you're feeling, and it's great when you find that person you can really relate to them and you can get into a big conversation about why you didn't like it, and it's great to be able to discuss. So I would just say BookTube as a community really allows us to do that, and I love it. So reading a book and you are about to start crying in public, how do you deal? I'd probably just, just let it out. I would just cry. And if someone asked me about it, I'd be like, you know what? This book, it's giving me all the feels, so, what can you do? I would just let it happen. Number seven, a sequel of a book you've loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in frustration? I will probably try to find a synopsis online. I've done this in the past, and usually when I read a couple just sentences of the synopsis, it all starts coming back to me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I got it. So yeah, I think that's definitely what I would do, is just try to find a synopsis online. Number eight, you do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people no when they ask? I actually am a person who really doesn't lend out my books very often because people never give them back, and I like to share my love of my books with other people, and I really want other people to read them, but I've had pretty bad luck in the past with people returning them or returning them in a very bad state. So I usually just say exactly that and say, you know what, I love my books so much and I just don't like letting them out, but I bet you the library has them, or, try to give them another option. So there are just a couple of people in my life that I will lend books to, but they're very few and far between. Number nine is reading ADD. You've picked up and down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? I usually get over my reading slump by rereading an old favorite or picking up a graphic novel. Both of those methods seems to get me out of my reading slumps very quickly, and I will stick to that until it doesn't work for me anymore. Number 10, there are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? This is a very true statement because I am so excited about so many books in 2016. And just this January, I did a video, and I believe there's 11 in my video or something that I'm excited to read. I personally put new releases on hold at my library, and that's why I try to know about them a couple months prior so that I can put in an early hold so that I will get the book right when it comes out and I get to read it. And then if I really do love it, I will probably purchase it for myself. Question number 11. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Well, especially when I check them out to the library, I usually get to them quite quickly because I only have a month to read them. You can renew books at my library, but if another person is waiting for it or has it on hold, you can't renew it. And so in that case, a lot of times new releases I have to read within the allotment of time within the month. So usually when I get new releases at the library, I read them very quickly, which works out pretty well for me. So thank you so much, Jacob, for tagging me in this. This was a really fun tag to do. And I would love to tag my bookish twin, Kristen, over at Vienna Waits Books, and also Chelsea at The Reading Outlaw, and Vanessa over at Chbosky. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see your tags of this as well. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week and a happy new year. And please leave some comments down below if you guys have any opinions about these questions. I'd love to hear what you think also. And happy reading.